Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Today we have started fourth chapter of ninth physics. It's our first lecture, and which we will discuss about these topics: the force diagram, addition of forces, and resolution of force. The first topic is force diagram. So first of all, we should know about what is basically made by force diagram. It means that how we will draw the force vector. That how we will draw the force vector. Since we know that it's a vector physical quantity, so obviously it will have some specific direction as well as magnitude. So force is a vector physical quantity. So it can be represented as, it can be drawn or represented as through a vector, through a straight line headed by an arrow, the length of, for example, it's the force vector and the direction of this. The length of such a straight line represent the magnitude of such force. And its arrowhead represent its direction. Because it's a vector physical quantity, so obviously it will have magnitude as well as direction. So its length represent length of a straight line, length of the drawn straight line represent the magnitude of force vector and arrowhead represents direction. So force diagram, then how we will draw the diagram, or how we will draw the force, or how we will draw its vector. So force is a vector physical quantity, so it can be drawn just like through a straight line headed by an arrow, and the length of that straight line will represent the magnitude of such force, and its arrowhead represent its direction. For example, it's 5 meter. It's a length of 5. It's the length of 5 meter. So first of all, here we will take conversion that 5 meter will represent 3 Newton force, and 10 meter will represent 6 Newton force. First of all, we will have to decide the scale. According to that scale, we will draw the force vector. So its unit will be, it's a force, so its unit will be 5 Newton, and it will be towards east or any specific direction. The second topic is addition of forces. Then how we will add these two forces. These are not scalar, so they cannot be added algebraically. So how we will add these kind of forces which are vector species. So now addition of forces. They can be added. Forces vectors can be added by head to tail rule. What is mean by head to tail rule? According to such rule, for example, we have two forces, that is F1 and F2, and we are going to aid. As they have been drawn, that F1 is in the direction of this, and F1 is acting in this direction, and F2 is acting in this direction. So F1 and F2. So head to tail rule, that the head of first will be associated with or will be coincided with the tail of the second. The head of first will be, through this procedure we will aid both of these vectors. The head to tail rule tells us that the head of the first will be coincided with the tail of the second. And what will be its resolution? What will be its resultant vector? Its resultant vector will be drawn in such a way that it will be coincided, its tail will be coincided to the tail of first, and its head will be coincided to the head of second. This will be called a resultant vector, and these are called the components of such a resultant vector. Through this procedure or through head to tail rule, we can aid the force vectors or any vectors. Vectors can be aided by head to tail rule. Here we have two forces, and these are its length, the magnitude of such forces, and this is acting in this direction, and the F2 is acting in this direction. So how we will draw its resultant? By using head to tail rule, then we will coincide the resultant vector tail with the tail of first, and coincide the head of resultant to the head of the last vector or the second vector. Through this procedure, and the resultant vector can be written as F1 plus F2. It means that it will have the same effect as the combined effect of F1 and F2. Resultant vector has the same effect as the combined effect of F1 and F2. Through this procedure, we can aid vectors, and here we have two vectors of forces, and through head to tail rule, we added these two vectors and we got a resultant vector. The third topic is resolution of vectors. Resolution of forces or force vectors. Resolution of force resultant vector. Then how we will resolve the resultant vector into its components. That is basically, resolution means the splitting up a resultant vector into its components. For example, we are going to draw a force vector that is F. It makes an angle theta with that of horizontal. Then we have a vector which makes an angle theta with the x-axis, which makes an angle theta with the x-axis. Now here we are going to resolve such kind of vector into its components. So here we will resolve it into its component by using head to tail rule. Then consider that it's a resultant vector of any two vectors. So it's consider that we have a vector that is f of x, that is f of x component of such vector, and this is f of y component of such vector. We have two vectors, that is f of x and f of y. Through head to tail rule, that the head of the first is coincided with the tail of second, and the resultant vector tail is coincided with the tail of the first vector and its head is coincided with the head of the second vector. So mathematically we can write it as we have studied about the addition of vectors, we can write it as f equals to f of x plus f of y. F will have the same effect as the combined effect of f of x and f of y. Through this procedure we have resolved such a vector and its components. So now here it should be kept in mind when the components are making an angle theta which is equals to 90 with each other, then they are said to be rectangular components. If the angle between the components rectangular components, the components of a vector are said to be rectangular if the angle between them is 90 degree. अगर x और y कंपोनेंट के दरमियान हमारे पास एंगल क्या हो 90 हो, then those components are said to be rectangular components. So how we will find the magnitude of these components? Now first consider the x component. First consider if the angle between f of x and f of y that is equals to 90. So consider that it's a right angled triangle. Consider that it's a right angled triangle. Now here we are going to find the magnitudes of f of x and f of y. Consider that now x component. The x component, we have resolved this vector into x component and y component. Now we are going to find the magnitude of f of x component, or you can say the x component of this force. Now the magnitude or x component will be equals to f of x, which will be equals to f cos of theta, or consider it's a right angle triangle. So f of x, so through cos of theta we can write it is base divided by hypotenuse, that is f divided by f of x, that will be equals to f of x will be equals to f of x divided by base divided by hypotenuse. So f of x will be equals to f cos of theta. That is the magnitude and the angle between them, that is equals to this angle. F equals to f of x cos of theta, and now sine. Now the y component will be, the magnitude of y component will be, by using sine theta we have perpendicular by hypotenuse. So this implies that f of y, or the magnitude of y component, that will be equals to f sine of theta. So the topic was the resolution of force of resultant vector. Then for example we have a force vector and we are going to split up into its rectangular components or in components. So here we have resolved such a vector and its rectangular components as the angle between them is equals to 90, and rectangular components are basically those components, if the angle between them is 90, then they are said to be rectangular. Now after that we found the magnitude of x component of such a force and the magnitude of y component of such force. The x component of such force, that is equals to f of x, but here consider that it's a right angle triangle. So cos of theta will be equals to f of x divided by base divided by hypotenuse. So base is basically f of x equals to f. Now cross multiplying, that will be equals to f cos of theta, and the y component will be equals to perpendicular by sin theta equals to perpendicular by hypotenuse, that will be equals to f of y equals to f sin of theta. These are basically the components of the magnitudes of x and y components in terms of resultant and angle theta and a trigonometric function. In terms of these are basically the magnitude of the components of such a resultant vector. Dear students, if you are facing any kind of difficulty in such topic, then your response will be highly appreciated. Thanks for watching.